I hate all the reviews for this pedal. I'm trying to come at it from a different angle. Welcome in, as they say. I have ADHD. I'm very tired. I don't know if I'll upload this. Anyways. Alright. So, what you are hearing is a Tighty Whitey. Whitey. What the fuck does that say? Whitey Tighty. JHS. Which, by the way, that guy is growing on me. I was kind of a hater for a while due to some. I'm so old that I remember the JHS controversy, and I get. I was a fucking idiot, I guess. Pedal sounds good. Easy listening, Earthquaker devices. I don't know. Their stuff is a little hyped. Although the Dispatch Master back in the day was pretty cool, new, interesting. So I'm running that. The JHS Tighty Whitey Tighty. Earthquaker devices, easy listening through a Headrush FR. I think it's the 8-inch speaker. Settings are 9 o'clock on the easy listening, which is essentially just, I guess, a deluxe reverb, I think, with the settings on 5. It's an analog circuit. I think it's just probably just a filter at the end that allows you to plug it into a PA, which is cool. Like, I mean, if you want to go on and on that about modeling any sort of tube amp in a tiny enclosure and stuff, like, dude, it's not a tube amp, okay? Like, doesn't have to be to sound good, but let's just be real, okay? I don't give a fuck about tone stack. This compressor surprised me. I kind of took a gamble on it. I forgot it's not an optical, and it's not whatever the famous one, U76 or whatever. It's like there's like what, 3 types of compressors. I like the optical ones, like an LA2. It's 1176, right? Is that type, and I guess this one's based on a Van Armstrong Orange Squeeze. They say that it's the little brother to the Orange Squeeze that JHS makes. That looks cool. It's got like a bunch of stuff on it that I don't need. It's got a rat circuit. It's got an EQ. I guess maybe this stuff I'm interested, but I'm cheap, I guess. No, it's the amount of knobs and settings, but like I really like this one, and I'd eventually like to buy the other one, but I was unsure about this type of circuit. Anyways, it's really cool, because you kind of get the best of both worlds in terms of retaining the electric guitar feel, but also, at least the way that I use it, like as a limiter, and the hair of sustain that it could maybe add is just a positive. That said, the way that I'm thinking about the sustain and the limiting function of it, I bought for a specific reason. For a while now, I've kind of battled, at least with my non-band stuff, with trying to capture an acoustic guitar feel and, I guess, timbre. I don't know what the word would be like reaction or just like the physics of how an acoustic guitar reactions in an electric guitar. Maybe a lot of that has to do with like string gauge and tension, and like you hit those heavy strings and it kind of chokes out. An electric guitar tends to be kind of, at least in my opinion, even when you play it completely clean through an amp, it's like kind of naked, you know? I don't think it sounds very good through like a very clean amp without any sort of gain. And I don't mean like overdrive, I just mean like even like a little bit of like signal pushing through it. And it also kind of like the dynamic range is very wide, I would say, compared to like very similar to like a nylon string guitar. And that's kind of more, at least in my opinion, it's not ideal for when you're trying to create like a singer songwriter, like a more like acoustic feel. Might be asking why I would want to try to recreate that, and I think it's because there's something about acoustic guitars when you're like strumming and playing that sounds really good for accompanying a voice. And I'd like to get that at an electric guitar, you know? Whoopsies. And then there's like the slide stuff that that said, when you play an electric guitar, when you primarily play an electric guitar, you learn to do things I think that you don't tend to do on an acoustic guitar, and when you try to do them, don't come out exactly the same. At least for me, the way that I'm trying to express whatever bullshit I make for all the people that don't give a fuck about what I'm doing. And a lot of that has to do with playing like single notes, and then playing single notes and single lines, and then transitioning into chords. Sound great, or sorry, feel great on an acoustic guitar, but then you listen back to like videos and stuff, and in my opinion, they sound kind of plingy. I recently made like a video called Cadaver Shuffle, and again, like I don't care if you watch them or not. These videos are for future me that will inevitably get dementia, right? And listening to the single string stuff, it just doesn't sound good. So I'm trying to find a way to do that with an electric guitar and retain the feel. So this is what I mean. So like even just, you know, just there's chords and there's some lines. You guys can make fun of my playing. I don't really give a fuck. And to me that sounds a lot better on electric with a compressor. And the compressor is helping this kind of get that feel of the acoustic where it's like naturally limiting the string and you can dig in. Because like if you start hitting things hard without a compressor pedal, in my opinion, unless you're like the super genius that you can control your dynamics, you're just like it feels like I have to think about it too much. Am I hitting the string hard enough? Am I hitting the string too hard? And that's kind of harder to do when I think you're just trying to use the guitar as an accompanying instrument and you're focusing on your singing or whatever melody you're trying to write. And I think I guess that's the point of this video. I don't know. I've been listening to Jillian Welch and David Rawlings. I know whatever recent album came out a little bit ago, but I was listening to the song Howdy Howdy, I think, and I'm like, oh, that sounds great. You know, they probably have some really nice microphones at the different, like, I don't know, radio stations or wherever they're recording and on David Rawlings like Studio Nashville and stuff. For some of us that want to document whatever songs we're writing mostly for ourselves, yeah, it'd be nice to kind of get the best sound that we can to remember whatever we're doing and feel comfortable. And I guess that was the goal with this compressor, this little amp sim, and this FR. Yeah, what else can I say? It's good for slide too. I think Red Cooter may have used the orange squeeze, and you know that guy's got good taste. The Origin Effects slide rig, I had that one a while ago. I think it's discontinued now, but it was just too much. I mean, yeah, you sound like Lil George, which nothing wrong like that, but it's more identifiable. I guess that's not good for me. Whenever something sounds too much like some person, I'm like, oh, I don't know. That's that person's thing. Anyways, here's an example if you're curious or slide. So this is without it. Here's with it on. Maybe you can or can't hear the difference, but that second part is that second time I played it with the compressor is so much easier to play. So yeah, if you want to play clean, I think this is the direction you should lean. Nobody's gonna watch this. Anyways, time for Betty bye bye, as the TV told me when I was a child. Goodbye.